don't know. Must be for my other girlfriend.
You think you're so clever. Now, before we do anything, as most of you know, we live out of our Jeep.
Yeah, so it's packed.
It might be a teeny bit messy, so first things first, we have to unload the stepchild. Okay, so now with the stepchild mostly clean, we get to do a little bit of unboxing, and I want to show you guys, look at how well these products are packaged.
So, staples, nice. They have that expandable foam, so it fits
like perfectly around the product to make sure there's no movement whatsoever.
Because you know UPS and FedEx is gonna frickin' destroy your package, right?
We all know that UPS has a tendency to like throw packages down mountain cliffs and stuff before they deliver it at your doorstep. So this is really important.
Have you guys seen these cool speakers? Look, it changed colors. It's actually pretty neat.
But that's not what we're getting. This is what the stepchild is getting today. And this is it. This is all of it. This is everything that you need. And what JL Audio has done is they have basically figured out what we need to amplify the factory system.
To optimize what we have.
Yeah, that's already in the Jeep. So this is retaining some factory stuff and then amplifying it and optimizing it with a few new things. So we have right here, so these are the C2 series. They're called 350 because they're 3.5 inches. And these are going to replace the top speakers on our dash. We will be retaining the lower speakers. We've also got this guy right here, which is the DRC 205. It stands for dual rotary controller. Let me see, it says it right down there in the bottom. So this guy's pretty cool because obviously it's a controller. It lets you change the volume, but it also lets you do it. It's a multi-function tool basically. So you can have multiple presets. So say you have speakers in the back of your Jeep, you can do it so you can control the volume of the speakers in the back while controlling the speakers in the front separately. So, and you can again preset this to whatever honestly your heart desires. And then the heart and soul of the whole thing. So this is a VXI amplifier. And VXI, the I stands for intelligent, and what's really important about this guy and what you can find out and read more up on JL Audio's site is this is an integrated DSP, which stands for, I believe, digital signal processing, which means it's typically with an amplifier you have kind of all the knobs on top, and those are what you use to control it, and that's what you're limited to controlling it with. This allows infinitely more options and infinite more controls. This is going to be the heart and soul, and what's going to take all of these aftermarket parts plus all of our already in the vehicle factory parts and make it the best it can possibly be. And then the main reason Kevin and I came to JL Audio to begin with was this bad boy here. So we saw this at the vendor show at Jeep Beach and we fell absolutely in love. This is their Subwoofer Stealthbox for the JL 4-door.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What does that look like?
Guys, so much thought has gone into this, and what Kevin was saying earlier is they basically digitally scanned this bad boy, and this is the passenger side one. You can put one on the passenger side, one on the driver's side, or if you really like that bass, you can put one on both sides. We're opting for just the passenger side for the moment, and again, the amplifier over here actually can mount under either the driver or the passenger seat. Now, since we have our air command under our driver's seat, obviously this is going under the passenger seat. But this fits so seamlessly into in this case, the passenger side of the rear cargo area. It looks like a factory component, and it's freaking incredible. The install for these is also super easy. Look, scoops around here. So this bad boy is going to be the bracket that mounts this amplifier up underneath the seat. Again, the driver or the passenger side, and this bracket can be used to mount obviously the VXI amplifier, but it can also mount a ton of different other amplifiers if you don't want to go with this one right here. Now this guy right here is for our fuses. This this mounts in a factory location under the hood using factory hardware to make everything as easy as it already possibly could be. I mean, this is gonna be minus the wiring part, but that's only because I don't like electrical. This is gonna be such an easy install. And then of course, you have the mounting bracket for this guy right here. That's it. That's all the parts you need. And it's going to basically make what we already have in our Jeep, adding a few extras, replacing a couple others, and it's going to make the sound system in our Jeep night and day. It's gonna make an amazing difference, and I am super excited about jamming out in the Jeep as soon as we get this all in. All right, you guys, so now we're officially gonna start with the install, and to help us with that, we have Matt here.
Hi guys, I'm Matt from JL Audio. I'm part of the R&D team here. We're gonna start doing the install here and check the OEM signals, make sure we have a good solid response to go off of, and then get started with the wiring.
Because, I mean, if we don't have, so if the initial factory signal is bad, we're just wasting our time.
Right.
And Jelly's over here distracting Matt as he's trying to talk to the camera with her loving kisses. She's such a good pup. Look at her face. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the kisses. All right, we're gonna do this now. We're gonna install, and you're just gonna hang out because you're a good dog. Okay, so what's on the USB?
We have stereo uncorrelated pink noise playing on the USB.
Which is?
It is
in layman's and Brittany terms?
it's noise that's going to tell us what the factory response looks like.
So it literally just sounds like white noise. Oh.
With all of your tone controls and the radio set to flat, you can see that your response has a little bit of a dip in the lower frequencies as well as in the higher frequencies. But we have a clean 20 to 20K full range signal all the way across, so it's safe to move forward and install the stereo.
Fantastic!
So your Jeep toolkit that's in the glove box that takes off the doors, your Torx here, is also the same Torx to pull your seats out.
What's that?
I don't know. Must be for my other girlfriend.
You think you're so clever. If you have to pull out the wrench or the ratchet, don't worry about it. We do have Loctite on the factory bolts, so some of them are kind of a little bit tight to get loose at the beginning.
So Jeep went crazy with Loctite on all bolts here. So the seat bolts have Loctite, hardtop bolts have Loctite, your windshield bolts have Loctite.
Everything
has Loctite. So
if you have to use a ratchet,
our little screw gun here usually isn't strong enough, but just break it free and then it'll work usually.
Now, obviously, you don't have to take the doors off in order to do this installation, but we're doing it because it's easier, obviously, getting into and out of and moving around. It just gives us more room, which is why we're taking the doors off.
Yeah. Just take the doors off, take the seat out.
It takes 2 seconds.
So now you have all this room to work with no door in the way, and you can get all the jelly belly fur off your underneath your seat.
Oh my God, Jelly Belly! What is this? What is this?
All right. So
It's okay, Jelly.
Let's get a shot back. So lucky for us, these American Adventure Lab liners come out in like 20 seconds. Here's the fasteners, 2, 2, and 2 more. Literally half a turn on each one pops it out. Now you can go see, she'll show you how much room you have for activities.
We have all the room for activities. So you've got the doors off, the seat out, and the great news is what Kevin thought was that the factory grommet had no space left in it because of our air command and the airlines and all of that stuff. Turns out there's still room for wiring there, so we don't have to drill a separate hole into our firewall, which again, no one else should have to unless you're, again, already using all that stuff, but we don't have to. We still have room, so this makes this even easier than it's already supposed to be, and at this point, we're just gonna run the wiring so it's all placed where we need it to be, and then we can start putting in the products.
in my Jeep, Brittany.
I'm not spilling it. So
All
they
for the
gave
gram or whatever.
they gave us Cuban coffee, and look how tiny this is. This is all you're supposed to drink. And from what they say, it's cracking a cup.
Brittany's gonna be bouncing off the walls soon. Do not spill that in my Jeep.
Oh, that's really good though.
Compliments to the chef.
I feel like I'm drinking on the job or something right now, but supposedly it is a massive shot of cocaine. So let's keep going. All right, so to give you guys an idea of what they've done here as far as routing all of these wires, you might have noticed that there's 2 wires coming up to the top of the dash, and that's where those C2 series speakers are gonna go, the new JL speakers. Now the reason that there are 2 wires is because one of those is actually pulling signals. So you have the signal from the factory radio goes to that speaker, and we're gonna pick up on that signal there. It's gonna ride that signal down to the amplifier, which is gonna mount underneath our passenger seats. And then we have the wire going from the amplifier back up to the speaker. Now you also might have noticed that we have 1 wire down there, and that is going directly from the amplifier up to the factory speaker, which we are keeping. And what we're gonna be doing there is using the amplifier to optimize the sound that is already coming out of that factory speaker. I hope that made sense, I really do. Now in addition to that, obviously we have this guy right here. Now this is the power wire that's gonna run to that DRC, that dual rotary controller, the bass controller, the whatever you wanna call it controller. And that is actually gonna go exactly where our factory 12 volt goes in the dash. That's why we pulled this little guy out here. Now you can mount that wherever you want, but since we don't typically use that 12 volts, we're just gonna put it right there because it's super seamless and it looks good. And then last but not least, you've got this wire right here. And this is the wire that Kevin was running that goes all the way back to the subwoofer and that stealth box in the rear from the amp to there. Now at this point, we've got everything labeled, what it is, where it needs to go. And so from here, we're just gonna make everything look pretty. They're gonna actually put wire loom across all these guys so it actually looks good. We're gonna tuck it away and hook it all up. Guys, low key, I'm feeling the coffee just a little bit. Come here. Jelly, what are you doing? What are you doing? Ah. Okay, more knowledge. And again, I'm gonna try my best to explain this because as I've said a million times, I'm no expert, but this is a resistor. And we do need this both for the driver's side and the passenger side. Because although we're tapping into that factory speaker wire and we're using it to pull signal to the amplifier isn't going to register as a speaker to the radio. And that's mostly because of the ohms of resistance the amplifier puts off. Now feeding this little guy into that wiring is basically going to trick the radio into thinking that there's a speaker at the end of that wire. Therefore, it's not gonna force it to cut off power because otherwise it thinks that there's like a break in the connection or something equally ridiculous, and it's just gonna be like, oh, something's wrong, and it'll cut power to it, and you don't get any sound out of your speakers, and all of this is useless. So these are super duper important right here. It's like a utility belt for your steering wheel.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Every day is a new day.
It is a new day, and today we are installing the subwoofer and the amp. We got all the wiring taken care of yesterday. Everything is prepped, ready. So now it's time to actually do the important thing, and that's bolting the sub, the amp, the speakers, wire it up, and boom, right? Boom. I think that's it.
And use the instructions.
Oh yeah, so we get to install the subwoofer today. This guy right here. And they gave us instructions, which we all know how much Kevin and I love to use this thing. So first things first, you do have to remove the inner fender liner on your passenger passenger rear side. At least passenger rear for us because that's the passenger subwoofer that we got. Which basically means that you have to go in and break all of those stupid retainer clips that break automatically when you remove them. Lucky for us, JL Audio thought about that and they give you new ones. They come with the kit, so don't worry about it. Break those bad boys off, toss them aside, get that fender liner out, and then let's get going.
We have a few less steps that we're not gonna have to do that you may have to do. We already have our fenders split outside, so we didn't have to go through all that. We still did have to pull our inners out, but go ahead and follow the instructions. They're pretty on point. Once all that's done, you're gonna pull the carpet down. Easy enough, just pull it down. There's nothing holding it up except for this one clip. Then with the bracket, we're gonna set it up there, mark it. You're gonna need a marker. Your step bit, I put some red tape around here at the 3/8 mark because that was what we're gonna drill to. So the red tape will tell me when to stop. And then we're gonna have some fun drilling because we all know how much we like to drill into our vehicle. It's not bad at all. All right, so this little tab is gonna be even with this rib right here. You're gonna mark these holes, these oblong holes, and this guy right here.
That's it?
That's it.
Now while Kevin gets the carpet situated, just wanted to take a second to show you the difference between the C2 series JL audio speaker and the factory speaker that went on the top of the dash because we're about to get those installed as well. All right, now with those in, next up is disassembling that beautiful stealth box so we can mount it up, which includes taking off the front panel and taking out the subwoofer.
Okay, you can't really mess this up. You got the black for negative and the red for positive.
Go figure, right? Oh look, it's already got jelly fur all over it. Yay! Okay, so that took like an hour.
Yeah, but that's with filming.
With filming, yeah, that should, if it's just you and you're going to Pound Town on this speaker box, I'd say 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So we've got Matt over here working hard at work, and then look at Kevin. Kevin's so hard at work right now. Working so hard. Where did you even find a stick?
So now we're ready to mount the amp onto the bracket that goes under the seat. As Brittany showed earlier, there's all these holes because they're universal for all their different amps. We are going to be using these middle holes here because they have this cool diagram.
So it tells you what amps
use what holes.
Use what holes. So you know exactly where you're bolting this thing to if, for whatever reason, you don't go with the VX700 5i like we did.
Something like that. So we'll just line that up there, try to make it to the hole. I think I got it first shot.
Did you really?
I think that's it.
That's it?
I think that's it. You want to peel this now or later?
Later. Don't do it now. Later.
Oh, okay.
As you can see, one of the things that makes this bracket so cool is it actually just bolts where your seat bolts down. So you put this down, and then as the seat lays on top of it, the feet of the seat lay right up here and it bolts straight through, and it's It's as bolted to the floorboard of your Jeep as obviously your passenger seat is.
All right, so at this point we can go ahead and secure our fuses, and they have this cool bracket here along with these fuse holders, which I have never seen before, and maybe people in the automotive industry have seen it in the audio. But these fuse holders here actually rotate 180 degrees, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
So you can set them up however you like.
360 degrees, technically.
Oh, they do rotate 300.
Yes.
But I mean,
technically a full circle, Kevin.
usable is 180 because you're only going to go from here to here.
Yeah.
But we're going to set these as like almost a 90 coming in and then a 45 coming out, which makes it actually super clean. And it's a very OEM look.
And just to mention that the actual bracket itself mounts in a factory location using factory hardware, which is also pretty awesome.
It's all really super awesome. And here are little blade fuses that go on there.
Where do those go, Kevin? Don't put that in your mouth. Don't, please.
They go right here. Boop. They unscrew those guys, and then you put it under those. And then you have this cool cap that goes over it. So you'll notice we have 2 fuse holders, but we don't have a second amplifier. But what we do have is 2 power wires running back to our onboard air system, which we had a fuse holder like this, but really janky and just like shoved down behind the battery.
It was super ghetto.
It was super ghetto because we never finished it and I never went back since it was working. But since they have a separate holder, they provided us with a second fuse holder for this bracket, and now this is our main power that's going back to our onboard air pump. So this will go in here, and now it's not ghetto anymore.
His JL audio is awesome and super nice.
Yeah.
Now at this point, with all the wires wired, the amp bolted in, the sub bolted in, everything done, we get to put the seat back in, bolt it up, and then it's the fun part. Then we get to tune it and hear what it sounds like, and I am so excited. All right, so what's super awesome, we've got everything installed, wired up, 100% ready to go. All that's left is tuning. But what's super awesome is JL has done all of the hard work for us and for you. They've already tested this specific make, model, year vehicle. So Jeep Wrangler, JL, brand new, 4-door, and they've figured out a way to completely optimize this exact setup. The sub, the speakers, and the amplifier, and what creates, tune-wise, the best optimal sound for this vehicle. And so all you have to do is load it and you're ready to rock.
That's right.
Fantastic. So Matt here is going to show us how to load that. Is that it? Oh my God, it's like 5 clicks. That's awesome. So this is our tune. I have no idea what that means. All I know is it's going to make this sound fan-freaking-tastic.
Like a tune for the engine, but it's a tune for the amplifier.
So you mentioned this having 3 presets, one for the driver's side, the passenger side, and then the blue is your center optimized, which is a compromise. What did you mean by driver's side versus passenger side presets?
So when you optimize a single position for the driver or passenger, use time delay and EQ and levels to give you the best possible sound in that single location at a time.
Because, I mean, if you're sitting in the driver's seat, the sound from that speaker is reaching you technically before the sound from that speaker is.
Correct, and it's also louder as well because it's closer to you.
So what you're doing is you're delaying that speaker so that it reaches you at the same exact time the audio from that one reaches you.
Correct, and then we lower the level of this one to even them out, and we can get a good optimized center image in the center of the dash. However, there's no way to do a 2-seat tune using time delay where you can delay it properly for both positions in the
drivers
car.
And passengers.
So we do have a good compromise. We have some tricks that we do to get a good overall sounding center tune, and it gives a good center image right about here for the driver and about the same for the passenger. So it's not all the way off to the corner of the dash, it's about right in front of you.
And as far as image thing, you're kind of, I'm layman's term, I'm imagining almost like if I'm sitting at a concert, like sitting dead center at a concert, like where all the speakers are optimized to face you, versus like sitting on the far right side of the concert versus the far left side, like because it sounds different.
Yep, exactly. Okay. That's what you want. You want a good center image in the dash, and then you have your left stage and your right stage. So if your music is very left-right balanced. You can have good imaging all the way across the center of the stage.
That's awesome. And then, so I know a lot of people are probably curious, but we did not replace these speakers here. And you were talking about why.
The rear speakers overhead are just not a very good placement for speakers for the type of tunes
Audio
that we've
quality.
been doing yes, exactly, for a good quality audio system. If you want it loud, do rear speakers
because they're
too.
literally right by your head.
Right. Yep. They're great if you want it loud, but if you want a good sounding, good imaging vehicle, that speaker placement's just pretty poor. So we haven't done anything with that. Instead, we did the 4-way active front stage and the subwoofer, and
So we're
performance from
we're
that.
basically fading more to the front. We're leaving these on, but on a very low level.
Low sound,
and
so
we're
these
fading to the
don't
front.
overpower.
Right. So you still have a
What we
little
got
bit
there.
of rear fill, but it's not overpowering the front stage.
Oh my God, I'm learning so much. This is awesome. Guys, this is so awesome. JL Audio has literally gone above and beyond when it comes to the engineering and the sound and audio quality of what's just gone into our Jeep. And the only thing that sucks for me personally as the person filming and editing this video is I can't accurately show you sound-wise how amazing this is, because there's no way my phone and my mic and my camera setup can pick it up in any type of close quality. But if you ever catch us at any event ever, you're more than welcome to stop by, come say hi, sit in the Jeep, turn the volume up, and listen to what we got in the Jeep now.
Whew, that was a long one. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. I hope you learned as much as we learned.
That was a lot of information, but it was a lot of really interesting and really awesome information. It's so rare to find a company not only that has that kind of like family mentality, but that makes so much of their product in-house
right here
in
in
the US.
the good old USA. And here, let me turn the radio on so you can hear how good it sounds. Just kidding, because that's not going to
No,
work.
we can't do
'cause
that.
I'm
You just can't pick up the audio on the mic.
Obviously, but thanks for trying. Alright, so we got the sub in the back, all of our stuff in here. It takes up no extra space, and it sounds great. This is the first time I've actually ever listened to the radio on the Jeep.
Low key, I'm like not doing my job. I haven't been editing or anything, which is usually what I do to pass the
Been
time on our
jamming
drive.
out.
I've literally just
Oh,
been
hi,
jamming
Jelly.
out. Hi, Jelly Belly.
Oh.
Hi.
So anyway, come take a listen. Order the Stealth Box. You can order the whole kit. You can get just the box, do your own amp setup, do your
And
own
again, it's a
speaker
fully
setup.
customizable. This is what worked perfectly for us, but they have a ton of options. I'll leave a link, obviously, to JL Audio in the description for anyone who is curious. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. As always, guys, you know you can find any of your Lite Brite Nation merch at lightbritestudios.com and any of your Lite Brite Nation decals at pixeldecals.com.
We love you guys.
Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
Wow.
Mwah. Say bye, Jelly. Look at her. Look at her. Look at this. What are you doing? She's so spoiled. But we love her. You do have to remove.
Alright, so we have a few less steps that we're going to have to not... Hold on. How did that...
All right, now with those in, next up is disassembling. Cut. Okay, so you mentioned, move your hand.